What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 83 of the SnapCast podcast with your hosts, Andy and Brad, here to talk about MTG and MTG relevant things. We are a MTG finance-focused podcast, and we like to say that we're for casual players with a competitive interest in finance. What's happening, Andy?
For those following along at home, I'm the Andy one, and he's the Brad one.
Excellent, yeah, and I think I have the text right under the videos, hopefully.
Jason, welcome.
All right.
He's in here quick, man. Like we just started. He almost opened it up before I did.
Oh, that reminds me, I have a friend from Massachusetts that asked me specifically to let him know when we were streaming because he wanted to join, and of course I didn't because I'm terrible at this. Well,
unbelievable.
I mean, I think that's the longest we've gone sort of off the air since we started the podcast.
No, last time that I was on, or we were on, was I was on crutches. So it's been a while.
So that was a while. And I don't think, actually we got some comments earlier from Chapman and Chapman Productions. He said, what's going on with Cooley, that a-hole? Let's write him off. Everybody talks smack about Cooley. And I was like, no, we can't do that. But one thing I will say is the whole time that I was doing with Cooley, I think we missed about 3 episodes, and one involved me traveling to Rhode Island for a close death in the family. But I want to be honest with people. My life's been busy as hell. And Magic has not been my number one priority. It just hasn't. So wanting to do the podcast is it's something that I want to do, but I want to do it when I'm interested in the cards and I'm interested in the formats and I feel like I have something relevant to say. So the last month or so off has actually been really nice to have a few nights off and over the course of the week. So I'm just glad Andy still wants to do this when I come back.
For sure. And not to throw you completely under the bus, because it is all your fault, but the first week that we missed, it was completely on me. I had RA training that week, and then I don't remember, I had something the next week as well. And then, let's just be open and honest. The other week we went out to Chinese food and we had too much, and we're just like, let's just watch Marvel.
We did. We sat and watched a few episodes of Marvel What If, which, I'm looking forward to watching the newest episode when we get done. Again, to be completely honest, I'm looking forward to that. But I am also looking forward to talking about, this Friday's a new set release.
Yeah, pre-release this Friday. Set officially becomes legal the next Friday. And after coming off the D&D set, and don't get me wrong, the D&D set was very flavorful, but I wasn't really excited about the cards. Innistrad Midnight Hunt, I'm a little excited.
Do you have a particular card that you're excited about?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask me. No, I'm just kidding. There's a whole bunch, honestly. Consider is a card that was spoiled right away. Something I think is going to be great. Getting another 1-drop. Professor just put a video out today about Pioneer, and Delver's Secrets is going to be legal in Pioneer. That's pretty cool. That might make me interested in that format again. You have that entire cycle of the weird end of the battlefield kicker, where they hit and then you can kicker, which is much better because you don't get blown up by a counterspell or something. But there's just a lot of powerful cards. The day night cycle seems good. All the flip spirits that you can cast them again from your graveyard. It's kind of akin to adventure, but you just don't have the option at first. There's some cool stuff.
Yeah, those kicker cards, I'm calling them kicker cards because people will always say everything is a kicker variant, right?
Yep.
The nice thing about those is they work with Vile.
Yeah.
Because the creature
That's
enters
true.
the battlefield.
As a humans player, you can still kick them.
Yeah, and the same would be true if you were a spirits player, because there are relevant spirits. I know Picard was excited about a few. So I think that's cool. I think, we had talked earlier about the the best Doomblade ever being printed. They also basically printed a white Doomblade.
Doomblade that also hits Planeswalkers.
Yeah. Destroy any creature or Planeswalker for 1 and a white. Give them a clue.
Yep. That's not bad.
That's not bad. The problem is, and here we can actually get on the finance tip a little bit. Dude, Path to Exile, perma-staple. In the last year, we've gotten so much good removal. Prismatic Ending.
Yeah, so the thing I always like to think about is, I mean, Path fell out of favor completely for a little bit because the downside of Path, and because of all the really good removal that we got in its place, I mean, Fatal Push is probably the biggest one that pushed it out, like made it almost unplayable. And then all of a sudden we get like Murktide Regent in the format, and it's like, oh, okay, now we need Path again because Path will always come around because it just hits everything. Right. What it doesn't hit is Planeswalkers.
And now for 1 and a white.
Now for an additional mana. 2 mana is a big difference than 1, but man, people still play Terminate. This card's good. This card's real good.
Yeah,
and they don't draw even if like they drew a card off it, like I still would be okay with it. And they don't. They have to pay 2 mana to draw their card.
Yeah. Are you typing over there on your fancy clicky keyboard?
Nope, I am clicking a pen, but I will stop because I don't need to be an asshole.
Wow. See? Now, again, talking about our good buddy Cooley. I don't know if he would have made that choice. He would have been like, "Why is this annoying you, Brad?"
Oh man, I remember those days. You always had the 2 people, the ones who go, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and then you have the other ones that are like, "This is my room just as much as you. I don't care that you're taking the SATs. I'm also taking the SATs. I can click my pen. It helps me focus."
Oh,
that would be the more Mike side. It's like, no,
yeah, you're turning on your RA voice. Like these are the things you deal with as an RA at college. RD.
I'm an RD now. Yeah.
RD. Yeah. I didn't want to diminish your position to unnecessarily. The other thing that's coming up with this new set that's coming out is rotation.
Yeah.
And this is another place where historically has played a big role in MTG finance.
Yep. And I don't know if it matters as much now, and there's 2 reasons for that, but it's still important. The 2 reasons why I talk about is 1, a lot less people play standard, and 2, when you look at like the standard cards that are rotating for the first time in forever, like all of them see play in modern. Like Gorio was just so strong that you see all these cards like rotating. It's like, oh no, I just play those in modern anyway. Bone Crusher Giant, that's a staple. Brazen Borrower, that's a staple. Like,
well, I did a gatherer search earlier, and I searched just for the mythics from the rotating sets, and sorted them by CMC. And I was thinking that we could play a little game, and I want to call it Buh-Bye or Buh-Bye. So like, you know, most of these cards that we're going to talk about, people should know. They've been around for 2 years at this point as they're rotating out. People that play any kind of format with more longevity will recognize them as staples in Modern, Pioneer, Legacy sometimes. And maybe we just scroll through them and be like, is this a card that you want to buy right now? Or is this a card that you're happy to say bye-bye and not be interested in? What do you think?
I say let's do it. There isn't a ton of them. I mean,
no.
Of course, Gatherer doesn't give us a number, but it's only 1 page.
This is going to be an awkward transition because I'm working on a 1 monitor setup here. Boop. Are you looking at the stream as well? You'll see this switch over.
Yeah, I'll see it in a second, I'm sure. Of course, I'm always going to have some sort of delay. Yeah, there it is right there.
Yeah, so sorted by Throne of Eldraine, Corset 2021, Theros Beyond Death, Ikoria Lair of Behemoths, and is mythic rare and converted mana cost ascending. So the cheapest mythics that are rotating are these 2 mana mythics like Chevel, Bane of Monsters. How do you feel
That's
about
nice. Buh-Bye.
Buh-Bye?
It didn't even see like any real commander play, and like that's where that card was designed to play.
How about
Buh-Bye.
Fiend Artisan?
Okay, and we can talk about this one.
I thought we
can
might.
talk because I mean you're a lot better with the price histories than I am, but I feel like this card was a little bit overpriced for a while because of the birthing pods effect.
Yep.
But it never caught on. And if this card can drop, it might be a like build around modern deck at some point. I mean, I can see playing this alongside Collected Company. It gives you 2 effects, plus the Collected Company can find this and other things. So, I would want to have a playset sitting around if they're not too expensive.
So let's take a look at the price graph on Fiend Artisan, and you can see that initial hype when it first came out, around 30, mid-30s. Right now is under 10. They're saying the average is closer to 8. And this is another interesting trend with more modern cards. And by modern, I don't mean modern the format, but I mean recently printed. Look at how close the foil is tracking.
Yes.
I know you're on a delay.
Yes, no, I can definitely see that. Like, I think you're right, and I think the more they introduce more different card frames, and even now more foil types, you're gonna see things are gonna be different. Because even just in this set, I think you had the full art, right?
Yeah, I just found it. So there's a pre-release, a promo stamped, and a full art.
Right. So all of a sudden, once you had the full arts, now people had a choice between their premiums. They could either go full art or they could go foil. And I think that helped kind of stabilize the foil price.
Yeah.
Whereas before, if you wanted a premium, you had to get the foil because that's all that existed.
Pretty impressive to see the full arts around $11. Foils around $12.50. Now, it's interesting because these show something totally different. What I always like to do is I love MTG stocks, but I also like going to TCG Player and seeing what I can buy. And
what's actually for sale.
What's actually for sale now. Here's somebody with 8 full art non-foils for $10 a piece. That's a pretty deep well. The full art foils, $25 is the cheapest one you can find. And you're not finding anybody that has a whole play set. It's all single copies, You get to the gaming company, they're almost always the largest volume player on TCG Player. They have 8 copies, but you're going to pay $35 a piece.
And that makes sense, right?
Yep.
Right, because like this is a commander card. It hasn't found play anywhere else, but in Commander, people love to play this.
Yeah.
So you're going to see the full art foil be worth quite a bit.
But I think you're spot on with this is a buy right now if you just need a play set for your collection at $8 a piece for the regular pack copy. There's a reason why it's $8 when it wasn't played anywhere.
And the thing, like at $8, man, I'm not going out and buying a ton of copies to invest in them.
No,
but if I can get a play set for, if I can get a play set for under 35 somewhere, right? Like I get a little bit of a deal.
Yep.
Hey, why not?
And this is the perfect card to go on to.
That's bad math. Play set would be 32. So if I get a play set for under like 30, I'd be in on it.
Right. And so this is what I was going to say is this is the perfect kind of card, in my opinion, to go to the Facebook buy, sell, swap sites and say, hey, who wants to ship me a play set of Fiend Artisans tracked for $30.
Yep.
I'll bet you $5 if I go on Facebook right now and put that up, I'll have somebody in an hour going, I'll send you a set.
Yeah, someone that bought early, and they're like, "Ooh, I have a chance to get out before they rotate."
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's go back to our main list on Gatherer. Kinnan Bonder Prodigy, a 2-mana legendary human druid for Simic mana. Buy or Buh-Bye?
I don't know, man. Like, I think it sees play. I'm just, and I know it sees plays in Commander, but I'm not interested personally.
Right. And so let's go over and just sort of take a peek at TCG Player. I don't really want to do this for every card, but Kinnan Bonder Prodigy, which also has an extended art version. The extended arts are about $13. The extended art foils, almost $40.
That's a sell to me. If I had any of those sitting around, I'd be dumping them.
Well, because you never plan on playing it, but this might be one.
I mean, that's the only thing that has that effect as it does in Commander, I believe. And you can play it as your Commander. Like, I get it.
Yeah, and so that's why I see that full art foil being 4 times the price. But I mean, people have tried to break the birthing pod thing again. In here, you may put a non-human creature card from among them onto the battlefield. I'm thinking of another creature right now. This one here, tapping all your rocks for extra mana, is kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm a Buh-Bye on Kinnan Bonder Prodigy. I'm not worried about having a set of those in my modern play collection. Kroxa, Titan of Death's Hunger.
So, depending on price, this is a buy. I don't think you need a play set, but man, having at least two to three, if you want to play red black at all, like even like John usually plays 1 copy. Red black, like mid range, I think can play up to 4. This card is going to be around for a long time.
This card is going to be a modern staple for sure.
It's already seen its reprint. We had the Secret Lair.
I don't think we're going to see this. I don't think we're going to see, frankly, any of these escape cards again anytime soon. No. So, and we alluded to it just briefly, but are our videos showing up on the stream, by the way? Or is it just the background?
It's me. My video showing up.
Well, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's what everyone tunes in for anyway.
Obviously. Because...
Yeah, you're on one monitor over there.
Huh. Well, all right. We'll come back. Yeah, Kroxa, I'm a buy. If you don't have them... And again, when we say buy or Buh-Bye, this is just a cards that we want, cards that we don't want. You know, I'm not saying run out and buy a pair of Kroxas if you're not going to play them, but it's a card that I would suggest you get now because its price currently is likely not predicated on standard play.
That's what I was saying before is like...
Well, and you said it specifically about the next card in the list, Brazen Borrower.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's played in standard. I don't care. It's played in Legacy. It's played in Modern. It's played in Vintage. Like
played in EDH.
Played in EDH. Like the card's insane. It's possible it goes down in price on rotation. I mean, if so, it probably already did. But like, it's going back up. That's a buy.
It's a card that if you don't have, again, consider getting. It's not going to crash in price because the price that it has right now is not based on its play in standard. Now, Robber of the Rich, I think it's in the same boat. I'm a buy on Robber of the Rich. Okay. This is a mythic 2-drop Reach and Haste. I know that they just printed another creature that's similar to this that lets you play cards from your opponent's yard or something. But this is a very powerful spell for a 2-drop with Reach and Haste. And
so
it's a
looks
mythic.
like Looks like around $5 a piece, $4.50, $5. I probably wouldn't go in on them too hard. I would want to have a couple copies around for EDH.
Yeah. And
I don't know if it's quite good enough for modern play, but it's
might be good enough
you'll
Pioneer.
play it. Oh, it's definitely good enough for Pioneer.
And
Yeah,
so,
good call.
You know, one of the things to think about, and again, I wonder if this is part of the professor's thought in talking about cards that are being printed into Pioneer. WotC put out Pioneer, or they announced Pioneer Challenger decks. They're not writing that format off quite yet. So
I'd expect to see them go same game plan as they did last time when they announced all the GP formats.
Yeah.
You're going to see your Magic Fest, whatever they have. You're going to see a lot of Pioneer.
Yeah. And to be fair, we don't know what organized play looks like. Nobody knows what organized play looks like. And that has a big impact on how fast, how many cards will go up. If they don't announce anything, these cards will still go up over time, but it'll be slow. If they come back out and say, hey, we're going back to the old GP point system, and these are the formats, and here are the events, you can bet your ass that these better playable cards, the mythics, are going to be the ones that double. So,
and I'd say especially if it's an EDH. Like if it's an EDH card, like you know you can't lose value on it.
No. And so this mythic, I think it can be a $10 card in a year or two without trying too hard.
I agree.
Basri Cat, I have a affinity in my heart for this card, but I'm a Buh-Bye.
It's not a good card.
You just stop that, sir.
Sorry. That's not good.
In a white X controlish deck, that emblem is nasty.
I don't know, just play a better card.
You're hurting my soul. Hey, look, it's Brazen Borrower again.
That card's really good.
General Cauldron of Eternity, buy or Buh-Bye?
I don't think it's a Buh-Bye. I'm not sure if it's a buy, but it's not a Buh-Bye. That card is always going to exist. It's always going to rotate in and out of sideboards of humans when it's relevant. And like, if you're ever trying to build Pioneer humans, you're probably playing General Cauldron.
Yeah. I mean, just having a 3-drop Lord is pretty good. Having the incidental graveyard hate is great. One of the things that I've seen more in the last few sets is them playing in the space of creating human tokens. And so I think that bottom ability, the pay 2, sacrifice 2 humans to destroy target creature with power 4 or greater, may actually come up more in the future, particularly in something like a Pioneer Humans.
Oh, for sure. That's an ability that people just forget about, and it's so strong. Now, here's a question for you, because I had to look it up. How much do you think like a standard frame foil of this is?
$3?
$1.50.
What the actual F? $1.50 for the regular pack foil of General Cauldron. Okay, how much are the full art foils?
I can find out.
I wish you would. I also wish my little video was showing in the corner, but alas, I've only got one monitor. You know what I should do is bring in my iPad. Excuse me. Oh my God, you guys. How are we going to keep you awake if I can't stay awake?
$11, $12.
$11, $12. That would have been my guess. I just noticed Jason Clark's comment so sad about Fiend Artisan.
Yep. I'm with him. I'm an old Burning Pod player. I wanted it to happen.
Hey, dude, Grim Tutor, buy or Buh-Bye?
I mean, that's an EDH table. If you're playing a black deck, especially like mono black, you're probably playing a Grim Tutor. I don't think you buy it for modern, but I do think you want to have a copy around for EDH.
Yeah, if you don't own this card. Now, this is another one. I'm going to go to MTG Stocks because I want to see the price over time. Grim Tutor. M21 copy has very slowly already started appreciating from like $11 to now closer to 15. So this card is not going down at rotation. This card is not $16 based on standard play. If you want to,
I would say don't even buy that one. Pull up the full art. The full art from M21.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Oh yeah, that's the one I have. Squeeze me, $20. Is that $20? Wait a minute. What's the foil? Foil's 30. Holy crap! If this is right, so this is the card that you're probably going to buy one or two of for your one or two black decks in EDH. Yeah, get the extended art for $20. If you're a foil junkie like me, get it for $30. There's no way that this card. Now, WotC shows a willingness to reprint high-end cards repeatedly, but barring another reprint next year, there's no way that foil's not a $50 foil a year from today.
Yep, and even the non-foil. I mean, especially where this is the full art, where you're probably not going to get another full art if it's reprinted.
Yeah,
but like you need a lot of reprints to get it to drop.
The nice thing is when you're looking at Mythics, there's not a lot of misses, and because of the last 2 years of the pandemic and events, the argument to say that a card's current value is stable is pretty good, because not a lot of people are going to sell their Heliod Sun Crowns next Saturday because they've rotated.
Yep.
Oh, can't play standard anymore. Got to sell my Heliods. No, every Heliod that's being played right now is being played outside of standard, and that's why the price is what the price is.
Yep.
I'm not saying everybody needs to own a playset, but I'm definitely not a Buh-Bye on Heliod. I'm definitely a buy on Heliod.
Yeah, let's rapid fire through some of these because we're
Clothis, buy.
We're dragging a little bit. Yeah, it's a buy.
Oko, Thief of Crowns.
For me, that's a buy.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I own one foil.
I mean, that's all you really need. I have 3. I'd like to get a 4th, but like you really only need 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's even banned in Legacy, right?
I don't know if it ever got. No, yes, it did. Yes, it did get banned in Legacy.
I'm like, now I want to check this out and see sets and legality for Oko Thief of Crowns. Banned in Standard, Brawl, Pioneer, Modern, and Legacy. I'm never playing Vintage. I'm 99.9% confident I'm never playing Vintage. I own one copy of this card. I'm probably not going to have multiple Simic decks. Buy one, Buh-Bye the rest.
Yep, that's fair.
Riel the Everwise, Buh-Bye.
I'd have a copy or 2 around. Again, not a modern card, but an EDH card.
And so the thing about this is an opportunity for another great distinction. Riel the Everwise might be what price now? What price is it going to be a year from now? Is it going to be double? So is it going to go from 60 cents to $1.20? So in a year from now, if you want to build an EDH deck that needs Riel the Everwise and it goes up to $5, you didn't lose out really big in the long term. And I'm totally guessing. Now I'm going to look it up. Riel the Everwise.
$2 right now.
$2 right now.
Yep. About $5 for the full art.
About $5 for the full art. It's also about $5 for the pre-release. So yeah, if it doubles, if it's a card that you need one of for EDH and it doubles next year, you didn't hurt yourself by not putting your money into it now. The Royal Scions, a card that I love. Kind of Buh-Bye.
I'm kind of Buh-Bye on it as well.
Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath.
I mean, Wizards gave it the biggest Buh-Bye.
Wizards punted in making this card and then punted again this card out of existence.
Man.
It's so good, you should own a copy.
Yeah, I want a copy for EDH. If you ever think you're going to play Legacy in those colors, probably buy them now.
That is fair. That is fair. Vadrock, Apex of Thunder.
Buh-Bye.
The Jeskai mutant.
Yep. If it says mutant on it, I'm pretty much on a Buh-Bye.
Or mutate, yeah? Okay. How about Alila, Artful Provocateur, 4-mana legendary creature, fairy warlock, flying death touch lifelink.
You either build a deck with her as the commander or Buh-Bye.
Buh-Bye. Calyx, Destiny's Hand, hitting some planeswalkers. They just
closer, but Buh-Bye for me.
Right. If you're playing enchantment in EDH, this is not making the Enchantress deck in Modern. And there probably isn't an Enchantress deck in Pioneer. Elspeth's on Nemesis, Escape, Buh-Bye. Erebos the Bleak-Hearted.
Buh-Bye.
Buh-Bye. I don't even care if you're playing mono black EDH. The other Erebos is better.
Yep.
Garruk Unleashed. Bye.
Buh-Bye.
Nope.
Oh. Ooh, we get a disagreement here.
We got a disagreement here. I think this is an easy play in all of your green decks. I play this in my Vorinclex Monstrous Raider deck, and this is just a house. The being able to get the emblem with any kind of doubling season or Vorinclex or anything like that, playing this and getting that -7 emblem to get any creature card and put it onto the battlefield at your end step is so powerful. Being able to make one or two, make a green beast creature token and then put a counter back on it is pretty good. Being able to give a beater trample is pretty good. So I'm talking about this card specifically in EDH. So I guess that's a buy one. Maybe we need a third category. So it's buy one, or Buh-Bye.
I mean, I'd even maybe just keep as a third category. If you don't run out and buy them, but if you have one, don't get rid of it.
There you go. And
so I will concede to you, and I'll concede to you for two reasons. One, you make a good argument. Two, you can get them for under $1.
Oh God, that's gross.
So yeah, that's the easy buy at that price.
Right. What are the odds that just as a mythic green 4-mana planeswalker, it doesn't double or triple in price over a year?
You say those words, mythic, 4-drop, green planeswalker, and before you tell me the abilities, $5 comes to my mind.
Yeah.
As just a floor. That's, yeah, buy them up.
Liliana, Waker of the Dead. How about a 4-mana black planeswalker?
Yeah, I mean, probably same reason, right?
I think it's pretty good, man. You get I know that in a healthy comparison, people are saying you don't look at planeswalkers for their emblems. I'm saying in a buy one format for EDH, you're shooting for the emblem.
Yep. You want to play cards that can win you the game.
Yeah. And the emblem on this, at the beginning of combat on your turn, put target creature from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control and it gains haste. So it's any creature out of any graveyard, you control it until it dies, it gains haste. Killer emblem.
I mean, just it's removal as well. It's not great removal, but it is removal.
The +1 is also a win condition. Each player discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life.
Yep.
The next,
not bad. It's like $3-4. I'd buy them.
And that's it. It's a buy one.
Buy one, yes.
The next 2 cards, I'm strong buys. Luminous Broodmoth and Mangara the Diplomat.
So Luminous Broodmoth for me is a buy one. Mangara, it is buy X, where X is the amount of white decks in EDH that you might play that might have white in them. Because it goes in every single one. Yeah,
it goes in every single white deck in EDH. I still think that, maybe it has room in maybe Humans in a Pioneerish format. I think it has Maybe someday it'll see life outside of EDH, but I love Mangar the Diplomat. A 2/4 lifelink. If somebody attacks you with 2 creatures, you draw a card. If they cast 2 spells, you draw a card.
I mean, it's one of the best white cards for EDH ever printed.
Narset,
I think it's right next to like Smothering Ties.
Narset of the Ancient Way.
Buh-Bye.
Buh-Bye. Nylea Keen-Eyed.
Buh-Bye.
Buy 1. Creature spells. I mean, it's a 4 mana enchantment creature that's indestructible. That reduces the cost of other creatures by 1 and lets you potentially put mana in to dig through the top of your deck. Outlaws Merriment. Buh-Bye.
Love this card. Love this card.
I bet this card will make somebody a
Buh-Bye.
fortune.
If it said at the beginning of your combat, I would agree with you. It says at the beginning of your upkeep. Buh-Bye.
Yeah. Palukrinos.
I'd say buy on this.
You're a buy on this?
We're looking at Pioneer.
4 mana, 0/0 enters with 6 +1/+1 counters. If it was escaped, it gets 12, and damage dealt to it removes that many +1/+1 counters. You can make it fight, and for 6, and exiling 6 cards from your graveyard, you can escape it. Man, it's kind of hard to argue.
Really good.
I mean, just
Card's
a
really
4
good.
mana 6/6.
Yep. I mean, obviously, huge downside, but like, it's good and it's repeated removal and it's a card that you can keep playing.
If you like green-black kind of things, you may want to have these for Pioneer because they're not. Again, this is another one that I bet is dirt cheap, right?
Oh yeah, I can't imagine it's much at all.
Chronos Unchained. About $2. Let's see. There is a full art of this. About $7.
Yeah. Don't pay $7 for the full art. Just buy a few copies at $2.
Exactly. I mean, basically for the price of a full art, you could probably get a playset. And having a playset for Pioneer might be worth it. Speaking of cards that you might want to have for Pioneer and other questionable formats, Questing Beast.
Buy.
Rankle, Master of Pranks.
Buy so hard.
Yeah. I don't understand how this card never made it into Modern.
Card's incredible.
Just flying haste 3/3 for 4 that can make your opponent or each player discard a card. Each player, it's so many options. We don't have to talk about it.
Yep.
Yeah. Buy. Absolutely buy. Rin and Siri Inseparable, the dog cat card.
If you want to play dog cats, buy 1. If you don't want to play dog cats,
Buh-Bye.
even existed.
Buh-Bye. Oh, we got a card with Mutate on it, so Andy says Buh-Bye.
This one's really good.
Snap Dax.
Snap Buy. And Snap Buh-Bye, sorry.
Snap Buh-Bye. He's like, this is a good one. It's
probably the best one. It's still not good.
It's a 4 mana 3/5 with double strike and mutate. Whenever it mutates, deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain 4 life.
It's 4 Leaders Helix on a mutate. I mean, it's good, man, but like,
yeah,
it ain't ever gonna see play anywhere.
Buh-Bye. Teferi, Master of Time, 4 mana Teferi that you can activate on every player's turn.
Buy 1.
Buy 1. Thassa, Deep Dwelling.
Buy 1 or 2.
I like this card a lot. I would go so far as almost to spec on it. It's already gotten it was printed and it was printed in the showcase version. It was not in the secret lair printings of the Theros Gods. It could get another reprint at some point, but the special constellation treatment in foil is so good. This card is such a value engine, especially in EDH. So you might say, okay, buy 1. For me, this is a buy, not Buh-Bye, buy and buy. I try to trade for these whenever I see them, just because I don't see this card not going up in value. Winota, Joiner of Forces.
Card ain't going anywhere. At his current price, I'd say buy. I wouldn't spec, but I would buy. You can get him for about $8. Oh nope, sorry. That is the pre-release. You can get him for about $4.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely buy.
It's if it makes the leap from historic into a paper format, you'll be happy you had them, and they'll easily double in price once it actually has a paper
human
deck
for it.
Yeah,
get a real good human just got printed for it.
Ashiok Nightmare Muse.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
I don't think it's that bad, but I'm not interested.
I'm not interested, and I don't think this is anything you would have to rush for, even for EDH. Baneslayer Angel, been printed 3-4 times.
Keep it in your heart, not in your trade binder.
Keep it in your trade binder, not in your spec bin. Oh, hey, look, Brokos, Apex of Forever. We're getting into the heavy hitters now.
That says mutate on it. Bye-bye.
Buh-Bye. Realm Cloak Giant, 5 white.
I love this card. I don't think it's a buy, but I love this card.
Destroy all non-giant creatures. So here's the deal, folks. The next time we see a set that is giant focused, buy a bunch of these and then sell them the next day.
Yeah, sell them when they tell us that there's going to be giants, but before they show us the giants.
Exactly. So before we know that the giant cards are bad.
Yeah. We just got a whole bunch of good giants, and none of them saw play. Like,
we are going to skip the Planeswalker deck, Chandra. Chulane, okay. Teller of Tales, very popular commander.
Yep. I don't know what the price is right now. I know the list price has been market manipulated so bad.
Oh yeah. Elder Gargaroth.
That's a buy for me. I think the card's really good.
And I don't imagine that its price is predicated on standards, so there is an extended art. Let's see. The extended art on TCGs. Whoa! They're $20 for the regular and $27 for foil. Are the cheapest you can get one for the extended art.
Yeah, what's the normals?
The normals, they're $15.
I don't know if I want to buy them for that price.
I'm sorry, 14 in foil. It saved foil. And 14 in non-foil. So
yeah, I don't want to buy them at that price. I think it's good. I'd like to have them, but I'm not paying that price for them.
So do you think this is a card that's going to go down post-rotation?
I do.
Oh, I like it. This is spicy. It
might take a while, but when people realize that they don't see playing Modern and
you don't need 4 of them
Pioneer, but they're not like a crazy Pioneer card.
Right. No, but
they're not a crazy EDH card. Like,
well, and you're not running 4 of them if you do, even in Pioneer, even if you're in Mono Green Devotion and Pioneer.
Yep. You might play like one and another one on the sideboard.
We're going to skip the Planeswalker deck. Elspeth, Illuna, Apex of Wishes. Look, it says mutate. Buh-Bye.
Bye-bye.
Kenrith. This was the buy a box promo and then later released in the list, right, as a non-foil or something?
That was the hottest shit in the world for a little bit.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
People that wanted it got it. And the number of people that are going to start playing Kenrith in their 5-color EDH decks or start building Kenrith for a 5-color EDH deck. Again, this is one that I think the price will just creep up on over time. And yes, in 2 or 3 years, I might look back and go, that card's $30. But if in the next 3 years I don't need it, I don't care.
Exactly. And like it does see play in the Winota deck and Pioneer, but as soon as Midnight Hunt comes out, I think it's getting replaced. I can't remember what the card's called, but there's this big green human that transforms into a werewolf, and the card's insane, and will absolutely replace Kenrith in that deck.
It's a lord, isn't it?
Oh man,
I don't want to get into that right now. Corvold Fakehurst King.
Orvold, I think that's another one. If you wanted to play it, you already have your copy.
Luca Coppercoat Outcast.
A Buh-Bye for me.
A Buh-Bye. Okay.
Buh-Bye. Only because we have seen multiple instants and sorceries printed that does his ability cheaper than him.
Yeah, we've got what's the new X red that's being played right now? The polymorph.
I know what you're talking about.
Indomitable Creativity.
Yes, that's the one.
Like you're getting a better deal with that or with just any other polymorph spell than you are with Luca. Nethroi, Apex of Death with Mutate.
Goodbye.
Ox of Agonis.
Buy card is insane.
Card is stupid good. Can't deny
If you
that.
ever think you might play Dredge once,
It's not
buy
going to
the
be
shit out
cheaper.
of this card.
It's not going to be cheaper than it is now.
No, if Dredge becomes a top deck, that card is going to go up.
Perforos Bronze Blooded.
Buy one.
Buy one. Rowan Fearless Spark Mage. That must be a Planeswalker deck one. Skip it.
Yeah, sure.
Terror of the Peaks.
I'll let you make a call while I look up prices.
So Terror of the Peaks is a very good dragon in a world of very good dragons. I think that this is better as a combo card than as a standalone card, and for that reason alone, I'm kind of saying bye-bye on it. It's very popular in EDH, so maybe buy one is appropriate. But again, if you're not already playing a Dragons deck, if you could do, yeah, I'll say buy one is my stance on this one. What is
$25 a piece or $45 a piece for the full art.
Oh.
I'm not rushing out to buy them. I think it's a good card, and I think it'll see play in Pioneer. Like, I'd like to have them, but I'm not, and I don't think they're going to go down. But I'm not rushing to buy them. Maybe I'd trade for them if I saw them in someone's trade binder.
Yeah, I think that's probably reasonable. I just can't believe they're that high based on EDH play right now.
Card's great.
Vivian Monsters Advocate. Speaking of great cards,
I'd say buy one.
Buy one for EDH.
Yep.
You
might get hurt because they might see play in Pioneer. One's enough for me.
Oh, that's interesting. We're getting into the 6 and 6+ mana spells now. Discontinuity.
Before we hit that, I want to back you up a little bit and just say Athreos, Shroud Veiled is definitely a buy one.
Yeah. Now that was another one that was like buy a box or something, wasn't it? That wasn't
buy a box. It was only in foil.
It was only in foil. It wasn't in the set. WotC
still legal, but not in the set.
Yeah. WotC has said before that these buy a box cards that there's actually, there's more of these than any other mythic in the set. Because they made one for every box.
Whereas you're not going to get one of every mythic in every box.
Correct. So I like the buy one on this. This is an awesome EDH card. But that's about it. Anybody in the chat? Have I missed anything?
You had Chapman and Chapman Productions, Woo, SnapCast Boy, Kings of Cards.
Oh. We're not talking about this Basri. We're not talking about this Chandra.
No.
But Discontinuity, the spell costs 4 less to cast if it's your turn for an end the turn. I mean, it's a 2. So what? It's 1 in a blue end the turn. It's a 1 in a blue at counter spell?
Well, only on your turn.
On my turn, yeah.
So, I mean, this saw originally was seen play in Pioneer Lotus Field decks because you could, with 2 mana up, you could play your Lotus Field. Then with the sack trigger on the stack, you could use
turn.
that 2 mana to end your turn. And then it was better than some other effects that did similar things because then if you drew it late game, you could use it as a 6 mana counter spell or a 6 mana stifle, like stifle a planeswalker ability. But like, I don't know, man. I don't even know if I'd play it EDH.
How about Embercleave?
You know, whatever we say on this one, we're gonna get hate for.
I say it's a buy one.
Yeah, people are gonna argue that Stoneforge decks should be playing, any red Stoneforge deck should be playing one. Or yeah, should, well, I guess yeah, it's still a buy one, even if you're gonna play it in modern.
See?
Stoneforge.
That was my safe bet. Fiery.
That's very safe.
Emancipation.
If your name isn't Jonathan Stover, then bye-bye.
This is another card that if you look at the price on this, I think you'll be surprised. Or not. But this is a stupidly expensive card.
Oh, absolutely it is.
Tripling damage is ridiculous. The nice thing about this is this actually works with the 6-mana Chandra +1 give your opponent an emblem.
Yep.
In a way that most of the other damage doublers don't. You know, like Torbrand says, add +2 if a red source deals damage.
And the emblem isn't red.
Right. So I think that this is fun, and in the what are the more classic, the vintage enchantments that say damage, all damage dealt is doubled.
Yep.
But
I know what you're talking about.
I certainly, at the price that these are at, I wouldn't spec on them, but I probably wouldn't get rid of all of them if you had any. Some terrible Garrix. I'm just going to say Buh-Bye. Buh-Bye.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
They have not made a great 6-mana Garrick. Harmonious Archon, 4 white for a 4/5 flyer.
It's a bye-bye for me.
Buh-Bye. It's fun in tokens decks. And this is, earlier I said something about them playing more in the create human tokens. This one, when it enters the battlefield, makes 2 1/1 human creature tokens. And it gives non-Archon creatures a base power and toughness 3/3. So, like,
yep.
As stupid as it sounds, if you just had a Champion of the Parish in play and played Harmonious Archon, you'd have a 6, or you'd have a 5/5 Champion of the Parish.
I mean, Archon itself puts 10 power on the board. Like,
yeah, that's pretty good.
It's just 6 mana.
Oh, that's so funny. Let's see. We're gonna go over here. I haven't looked at your beautiful face in a minute. I certainly haven't looked at the chat in a while.
Oh, those one monitor feels.
Oh yeah, I know. And it's pure laziness on my part. Oh look, I can see what the stream looks like. And I still have, that's kind of funny. My buddy wants to view the stream and I can't give him the link to the stream.
Can I help it out?
I don't know. Can you send me a Facebook chat link to the to the stream that we're going to be on for another 10 minutes?
Yep, I can do
that. Well, we'll try and make some people happy. We're encouraging more people to come to the channel. And so thanks for bearing with us. I'm going to have fun later when I actually when I go to edit this for audio, because we haven't put out any audio listens in quite a while. All right, so let me know if you see Splax, I bet is what he'll be called when he comes into the chat. And we've only got a few more cards because we're hitting the top of the mana curve here.
Yep. There's a few more hitters, but not many here.
Masker Worm.
That's a buy for me, or buy one, I should say.
Promo pack Oko. How
Nope.
about Sir Gwyn of Ashvale?
Not for me.
I like to play equipment decks. I like to play humans decks. I like to play Mardu. I don't necessarily care about knights. This might be a keep one in my EDH box.
I mean, I'll put it this way, and not to kind of throw you under the bus, but you have a Mardu human equipment deck, right?
It's just red-white now.
But it used to be Mardu.
That's true.
You didn't play Sir Gwyn, right?
I didn't. I definitely feel thrown under the bus.
Yeah, I just don't think it's that good. Like, I mean, unless you're playing with it as the commander.
Yeah. Teferi from a Planeswalker deck can scroll away. Circle of Loyalty. Saffron Olive's pick for the best card in Throne of Eldraine.
Wow. Saffron, I love you, buddy. You didn't get that one right.
No, he didn't. It's actually a joke on their channel that I don't think he actually said this was the best card in the set, but this made his top 10 when the set was first previewed.
Oh.
I think my
Card's
cat's
fine.
puking up a hairball. I don't know. Like 6 mana for an Anthem. It costs 1 less for each knight you control. The best case scenario, it's white for +1/+1. You can already get that. Like, you can already get.
I think the thing that matters is like it poops out knights when you cast a legendary spell, which we are getting more legendary creatures with every set because EDH, and they're like, we want you to play all these commanders. It's like this is Grizzly Bear, but it's Grizzly Bear of Lochthwain. Legendary Bear, too. Like, it's like, come on, man. I don't know. I might keep one around. I think we need a lot more support for it, but eventually it could be a good EDH card.
Chromatic Orrery. Now there's an EDH card.
Yeah.
Is it a buy or a buy one?
It's definitely not a buy. It's probably a buy one. I mean, I don't know what this price is. That's one of those cards that the price could be anything.
Right. It could be $2 or $25, and you wouldn't be surprised. Has never seen play in standard, right?
No.
So whatever the price of it is right now is entirely predicated on commander. And that there was that brief time where this was seeing play in the combo deck in modern.
Yep. Yeah, so core set $16, full art of 25.
I mean,
I'm not paying that for it. Well, I might buy one.
And that's the thing. I'm sure that I have one in a box over here, and I'm not going to get rid of it. If I have 2, maybe I would get rid of it, but I could see that full art being 30, 40, $50 in 2 or 3 years.
It's unique enough.
It's unique enough. The fact that it's a chromatic lantern effect, it taps for 5, so you get 2 mana back immediately. You pay 7 and you have 5 of any color.
Yeah, you lose 2.
You lose 2. A lot of people would tell you that 5 mana Teferi really only costs 3.
Right. Same concept. It's
the same concept here. You have to get to 7 to get it on the board, or you have to cheat it out. The 5 tap, draw a card for each color amongst permanents you control is
fine.
It's fine. I don't know. I think that I'm not specking on this card, but I might trade for more because I think that this is a card with clear growth opportunity.
Two things to say. One, Jason in the chat. Remember him playing this against me in Modern. That was great. 2, Splax in the chat.
Hi, Splax. Oh. Kiora Best the Sea God.
Yeah, I think that's a buy one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Buh-Bye. If you have one, great. I don't think that anybody's dying to play this unless they're playing a theme deck in EDH. If you're playing a Kraken deck, an Octopus deck or something, maybe you're playing that. I think that there are better ways to tap all non-land permanents. See, this says target opponent. It's not each opponent. Not in even for Commander. Nyx Bloom Ancient. Oh, baby.
Buh-Bye for me.
Buh-Bye for you?
Yep.
Okay. Buy one. Realm Cloak Giant, we already talked about. Ugin the Spirit Dragon, baby.
So I hear this card's pretty good.
Yeah. This card's pretty good. This card will have already made you money if you bought them. If you got them when M21 came out, you can already sell them for a profit. What is it going to be in another 6 months? The
card's going up.
The card's going up from now until it gets reprinted again. Everyone can make their own decisions as far as buy or Buh-Bye, but if you don't have them and you think you'll ever play them, they're not getting cheaper. I think that's true of our next card, the Great Henge.
I was gonna say, talk about a card that's not getting any cheaper. Oh, that card's a card that needs a reprint.
It does.
I don't think it's gonna get one soon.
I don't think it is.
It would have to be a secret lair.
Yeah, and that will make me cry because when this card was not reprinted in the Challenger decks, I did pick up a handful of full arts.
Yep.
Because my thought at that point was if they ever reprint it, say in a Commander deck, it's not going to be full art. It's not going to be foil. But if they do reprint this as a secret lair, probably going to have kick-ass art. It's probably going to be in foil. Maybe it will be something approximating or cooler than full art. So it's a dangerous bet that I'm making to hold on to them. But if they don't get a reprint, this card is already stupid money now. The Magic Mirror is reasonable, but more than you probably think.
Is it $2?
Is that what you think?
I mean, I think it's $1, but then you said it's more than I think, so I'm going to go with 2.
The Magic Mirror. Just the regular version is $2.81.
Wild.
And again, it's a cool mythic that does something unique. The extended art non-foils are about $6.50, $6.70, say just shy of $7. The foils are $18. So
yeah, have fun. Have fun. I'm not touching that.
This is definitely a buy one EDH card. If you like to play any kind of blue spells matters deck in EDH, the 9 CMC casting cost doesn't really hurt. Having no maximum hand size is awesome. And having cards like this in your deck maybe mean that you don't have to play brown lands like Reliquary Tower to fight with the triple blue pips. So at the beginning of your upkeep, put a knowledge counter on the mirror and then draw a card for each knowledge counter on it. It's your upkeep. Is pretty awesome. So every turn that goes around, you're drawing an extra card. You're drawing 2 extra cards. You're drawing 3 extra cards. I hate
this card. And you know me. I'm the blue player. I like drawing cards. Hate this card.
I skimmed this list earlier, and of course I scrolled all the way to the bottom of the page, and I saw a 12 mana legendary artifact, the Cauldron of Eternity.
Let's buy one. I don't think it's the best reanimator, so I'd much rather have a Whip of Erebos, but like, I'd buy a Cauldron.
Yeah, I'm with you. I wish somebody had broken this in some other way, but nobody did. Hey, you had a few cards in particular this week that you did want to talk about. I think you told me that they're not necessarily snap this ups, but cards the people should be looking at.
Yeah, I just a few real quick things that I would kind of just keep in your mind. Keep an idea, keep an eye on how the prices move. Decide whether you want to buy them or not. First one is Den of the Bugbear. This is going to be the newest card on the list. I know not much came out of Dungeons and Dragons. The set is still open quite a bit, but a lot less by like what I would say like competitive like spiky players, and more of like your casual players where it might be hard to get those cards from them. Yeah. Where like
they're not coming into circulation.
Right. So like there's not a ton of them out there. And realistically, it's definitely the best single color manland we've got since Treetop Village. And it might be better. Like in a red aggressive deck, there's very little downside. It doesn't come into play tapped unless it's your third land. And in modern, you're fine running off 2 lands in the deck that this likes to be played in anyway.
Yeah. And
it's seeing a ton of play.
This is the one that does a Rabble Master impression.
4 mana. It turns into a goblin. And when it swings, it puts into play a tapped and attacking goblin. And the goblin stays. It's not like it is like Rabble Master where it stays, not like Geist where it goes away.
Yeah. There's some sort of monster behind you. There's a chick behind you too. I don't know if you knew this.
I like that.
I haven't looked at that in a minute.
Oh man. I'll move on just to get through these. Second one, actually, card I played as my commander for a while, and it was kind of more of a joke than anything, but is seeing play. Is Lavinia Azorius Renegade. That's the 2-drop human that says players can't cast cards with CMC higher than the amount of lands they have. Well, opponents. They can't cast non-creature spells with CMC higher than the amount of lands they have. And then anytime a player or anytime an opponent casts a spell that costs 0 mana, counter it. So it's the sideboard play against Living End, against Crashing Footfalls, against Glimpse.
Oh. Yeah,
that's how they're dealing, like how the control decks are dealing with Cascade right now. I think Void Mirror does the same thing, but of course Lavinia gets around Force of Vigor, where that's usually what people are bringing in.
And I remember when that card came out and they had the cool promo of her looking out the window or whatever. Yeah, I meant that goes back to my thing. If you play a deck in Modern, any deck that looks like it may ever go in, any card that looks like it may go in there, pick up your copies. I got my 4 copies of Lavinia, and it's the same thing. Like right now, it would be a great sideboard card in Humans.
It's cheap.
And it's cheap.
3 more to go. Next one is Grist, the Hunger Tide, second newest on the list. This is the Planeswalker that is a 1/1 insect everywhere except on the battlefield. And it's starting to see play in like Jund Sacrifice decks that are starting to get a little bit popular. You can hit it off Coco. You can hit it off from...
You can get it with Cord.
Cord, that's the card I was thinking of. You can reanimate it, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, you can claim to fame it, can't you? What's its CMC?
I don't know what claim to fame. It's 3 CMC.
And are you talking about the regular one, the borderless one, or the showcase?
I'd have to look at prices. I mean, I just think realistically, you just want to keep an eye on it because it was a really cheap Planeswalker that came out of Modern Horizons 2, and no one really thought it was going to see play outside of Commander, and it's actually seeing Modern play.
Oh, and Claim to Fame won't get it, but there is that new... There's a card that was just recently in Standard that would bring a creature 3 or less back from the graveyard to the battlefield.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The black card.
Yeah. Yep. Claim to Fame, for the record, is the Amonkhet split card that's red and black. That brings a 2 or less CMC back.
Okay.
Sees play in some Rakdos Arcanist decks. Because for 1 black, it will bring back the Arcanist, and then when you swing, it can recast it.
I will say with Grist, although it's seeing play now in the Jund Sacrifice, keep in mind we are getting Champion of the Perished.
Oh.
So another kind of just Champion of the Perished with Gravecrawler and a Sacrifice Outlet's always going to be incredible. Carrion Feeder, I think, is the best option there. But Grist also will fit in that deck if you want to, if it ends up splashing green. Because it can do a pretty good impression of sacrificing a creature to destroy something on the other side of the board, and then if you sacrifice a Gravecrawler, you get it right back. Plus the insects it makes are really good to sack as well.
The other thing is, and this is a lesson that we should learn from Modern Horizons 1, is that if there's a mythic and you don't know why it's good, it's good.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Pretty much. I mean,
give it 6 months. We'll find out.
Barring very few exceptions, the mythics in Modern Horizons 1 have all killed it. And looking at the regular pack version of this for as low as $5 on TCG Player, I think your Grist Hunger Tide is a no-brainer.
2 left. First one is Shark Typhoon. Card that saw a ton of standard play.
Still talking about the regular?
Modern a little bit. And all of these, I'm not really talking about a specific type. I'm just talking about cards that you should keep an eye on. And realistically, I'm saying that because they're all seeing, except for the last one, they're all seeing modern play right now. Shark Typhoon saw standard play, saw a little bit of modern play. It kind of spiked a bit, and then it stopped seeing standard play, and it started going back down. And now all of a sudden, like, there's a ban control list playing 4 copies. Card you should probably keep an eye on, and if you want them, you might want to pick them up before they go up again.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And this actually gives me a whole nother idea. And maybe we do this next week, which is, what are the mythics that are not rotating that also see play in modern? That might be a fun list to look through next week, which is the cards that are not rotating that will be playable in standard, Pioneer, modern, and yada.
I think so. And especially knowing that in standard, you're going to see a lot of cards that weren't playable all of a sudden become very good.
Right. At a time,
because of how good Throne of Eldraine was.
Or maybe somebody can play standard.
Yeah.
Like, there might actually be a standard event. But what's your last card?
So right before I get there, I will say just another thing with Shark Typhoon. Also helps turn on Delirium because it's an easy way to put an enchantment in your graveyard.
Oh, yeah, for cheap.
Last card is complete spec in my mind.
Okay.
And this one is far away from all the rest of them. And this is Goryo's Vengeance. A little bit of a pet card for me. And a deck I played a while that was not good enough for Modern. You could compete, but you were not going to bring down a tournament. However, with Faithless whatever, there's a new card coming out in Midnight Hunt. That's one white, 1 blue that says draw 2 cards, then draw 2 cards, discard 2 good cards, has flashback, and is an instant, which is really important, especially at 2 mana now that we have Counterspell in the format.
Yep.
So we have been seeing some non-legendary based Esper Reanimator lists coming out with like Archon because of Persist and Ironmark Grave. Obviously, we know that card is going to go in that deck as well. It helps out a ton there. But also, Goryo's Vengeance is just a very old card that I don't think has ever been reprinted. Oh, it has been reprinted in Ultimate Masters. You're looking at that right now.
Yep.
But that's the only reprint. It's fairly cheap, but like it's a card that has a lot of room to grow if one deck just happens to do well in a tournament.
I like it. I like it, and it's not a pricey spec. If you want to get a playset, now it looks like you could get a playset for $12 to $15.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty good for somebody that wants to play Modern. And I would say you're right. If all of a sudden you start seeing Goryo's Vengeance decks poke up again, these are $5 to $10 a piece. So I think that's a decent spec. My specs, or my snap this ups this week, are Abundant Harvest in the Japanese alternate art foils.
So pretty.
They're gorgeous. They're simple. You know what they're going to do. There aren't a lot of 1 green sorceries legal that are often played in Modern. This card is seeing a ton of play, more than even Cooley expected when Cooley said to pick these up when they were only in the Mystical Archive. So it was a good pick then. I'm giving Cooley credit for picking it then, but I'm telling people these for $9. It's an easy $20 card. It's a beautiful version to have your set. If you don't care,
that one's never going to be reprinted.
Yeah, this one's never going to be reprinted. If you don't care about foils, you can get these Japanese arts for $4 or $5. So $20 for your playset of a Modern staple. Always worth it. Speaking of another Modern staple, Glasspool Mimic. This card you can get in full art foil. Double-sided foils. They're beautiful. For about $6 to $7. This is seeing play in Merfolk. It's seeing play in humans sometimes. It's seeing play in Commander. It's a rare. And it's not rotating. Sorry. When does Zendikar?
Oh, I don't know, man. It either rotates or it doesn't.
Right, so that's one of the ones that's going to be legal through 2022.
More importantly, like, how hard is it to reprint Glasspool Mimic?
Yes. And so in a minute, you'll probably see, but I pulled up the MTG stocks price graph on Glasspool Mimic.
Yep.
And it's gone from $1.80. It's been as high as $4. Right now, it's just about $3.50. Or if I look at the near mint foil copy, let me compare apples to apples here. Zendikar Rising extras. So those have only climbed a little bit, but they started at $3 and are now at that $5-6 mark. So they've doubled since they've been out, and it's not on standard play. So these are in standard for the next, whatever it is, year and a half. Between that and Modern, Pioneer, and other play, I think Glasspool Mimic is a no-brainer. It's one of the best clones we've gotten in years. I mean, it's a land if you need a land, or it's a copy of your best creature in play. So those Japanese alternate art Abundant Harvest gets you a land or non-land, depending on what you need. Glasspool Mimic, killer cards. I really like the Buh-Bye or Buh-Bye.
Yep.
We'll have to come up with a witty name next week for the mythics the non-rotating.
Did this show up? I don't know. That's not a good name, but like something along that lines. Is this relevant now?
Right. Can this actually be worth something now that Eldraine has rotated? Are your X2 creatures playable now that Stomp has rotated? Right?
Oh, man.
Is that the biggest question? Am I wrong?
No, you're right. Like that's yep.
It was fun. I have missed this. I look forward to doing it again with you next week.
Sounds good to me.
Did you say you had something going on next week?
I don't think so. I think I'm free next Wednesday.
Awesome. So again, you were listening to the SnapCast podcast with Andy
and Brad.
And Brad. That Brad's me. Andy's the other voice.
Yeah, I probably did it confusing on that one. But that's okay.
And if you enjoyed this rambling conversation, you can like, share, and subscribe. We would really appreciate it. If you like to listen to your podcasts orally, AUR, you can do that on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your audio podcasts. We're there, so you can listen to us ramble while you're driving to work. And hopefully that will be what K-Flag is doing. K-Flag hasn't heard our dulcet tones in a few weeks. Maybe he will be happy to see us downloaded to his Apple Podcast next week.
K-Flag, I'll see you in the reserve list next week.
We just had to get that line in there.
We have to. If K-Flag watches or listens to us and does not hear the word reserve list, he won't know it's our podcast.
We've been replaced. We're now pod people.
Pod people.
Pod podcast people. Yeah, we're gonna leave it on that. It was fun, dude. I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, take care.